Hello everybody and welcome back to another Minecraft tutorial. Today I'm going to be showing you how to build a hopper pulse lengthener. Now this is going to take an input in the form of redstone or perhaps a button, and then it's going to give you an output which length is determined by the amount of items inside a hopper. So this could be useful to you if you're building a mob crusher or perhaps a redstone door and you have a redstone signal which you need to increase the length of. So let's press the button and fire this thing up. Now all of the items are stored on this hopper over here, and when we activate this they're going to travel into this side. So as soon as they enter this hopper here, that's when the comparator turns on and our signal turns on, and then you can see when all the items have made their way back, that's when this comparator and the output then turns off. So this is pretty simple to understand because it's an RS NOR latch. So when we activate this button here, we're going to turn off the torch which is powering this hopper and holding all of the items in this side. So at the moment there's only 12 in them. And that is also what's good about this design right here. It's very flexible, you can put a large amount of items in here, and so I imagine this will be most practical for if you need to extend an input for a long amount of time. But once you've activated the RS NOR latch, it's going to turn on this redstone torch right here, which is going to power this block and keep that torch off. So all of the items are going to make their way into this hopper here. Then when all of them are in that hopper, this comparator will then turn off because none of the items are in that one, which is going to activate the RS NOR latch again. So this torch is going to turn on and set it back to its default state, which means this torch turns off and then that one turns on. And so all of the items will then make their way back from this side into the other hopper, and then when there's no items left in this one, that's when your output goes off. So building this is fairly simple, and it's also very resource friendly as well. All you need are 5 building blocks, 2 hoppers, 2 comparators, 3 redstone torches, 4 pieces of redstone, a repeater, and then an input, which I'm going to use a button for this. So we're going to start off by placing down our building blocks. We're going to put 2 here, leave a gap and place another 2, and then put a block back here. Now this block right here is going to be our input, so I'm going to put a button on that, or you could have it wired up with some redstone, and then over here is where our output is going to be. So there's going to be a comparator facing into that block. That's going to be our output. So let's start off by placing down those comparators. I want to put 2 down in those positions and then put our hoppers in between them. So we need to face these into each other, so you hold down shift when you're placing them, and then that way they face into the block that you click on, like that. Then we need to place down our 4 pieces of redstone, so 1 here, 2 over here, and another one on this side, and then we got to put down our 3 torches. So 1 on the side of this block, that block, and then this block over here, and then we place down our repeater facing into this block here. And then you've actually finished building it, but you need to do one more thing. You need to put some items inside this hopper here, and so that can create the custom pulse length. So we're going to put 4 pieces of redstone in there, and I press this, you'll see our output turns on, and then it turns back off again. So now that we know how to build this, you may be wondering, how do I determine the length of the output based on the amount of items that are in the hopper? Well, that is actually quite a simple thing to do, because every item that travels from one hopper to another takes 0.4 seconds. And so they travel into the hopper and then back out again, which means we need to take the amount of items inside the hopper. We've got 13 in this one. We need to double that and then take away 1. So if we multiply this by 2, we get 26. We take away 1, we get 25. And then 25 multiplied by 0.4 gives us 10. So the output of this is exactly 10 seconds. Now you may be wondering, why do I have to double this and then take away 1 as well? Well, the reason that it's doubled is fairly simple. It travels into a hopper and it travels back out again, and we take away 1 because the first item that travels from here to here doesn't count towards the output being on. So that's why you double the amount of items in the hopper and then you take away 1. So that concludes our tutorial for today. If you'd like to download a schematic of this, there is a link in the description box. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.